How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the warm-up. It feels like it's been a little while. It has been international break, but we are back. Season starts Saturday.
Has to, doesn't it?
It has to start somewhere.
Is that what we're doing now, yeah? The season starts Saturday.
First three, they didn't count.
That's how we got to look at it. Right? Big up James and Cecil, obviously. As always, we're back to delve into the game and thoughts, predictions, lineups, key battles, danger men.
Jeez.
All of that.
All of that, the whole shebang.
Let's start with some thoughts, man. Cess, how you feeling about the game?
About the game, I actually expect us to win. I expect us to win. I think we're going to win.
So do I.
Will it happen?
What better way to start than a positive like this? We all expect to win.
No, I expect us to win against Norwich. I really do. I feel like a lot of the team are back. Arteta hasn't really... There's not really any excuses. We're going to get into who's not available. It's only El Neni at the moment, so we'll get into why and what's going on with that. But that, for me, it's not someone key that's going to miss out, really. In my opinion, I think we've got a full-strength squad. I expect us to win. If we... No. If we draw... Even if we draw... It's uproar. I think there's going to be uproar. I really do. We're not too far from the stadium. I could see me and you 10 down there. If we don't get the result, it's a must win, and that sounds mad. I think Robbie keeps saying about it's a 6-pointer, it's a 6-pointer, and I laughed when he first said it, and now I'm like, nah, he's right, because any other result than a win, it's going to be chaos. Chaos.
Yeah, look, if we don't win, it's uproar. Like, genuinely, like, I think Arsenal fans, they kind of lost patience after City. We're losing patience after Chelsea. But I was there at the Etihad and fans were still clapping the players. And it almost felt like a pity clap. But we feel for you guys in a weird way. I don't know what it was. There's something about it, like, almost. We were seeing players who, I hate saying it, but haven't been at the required level for years, going out there and proving once again that they're not at the required level. And I think there was a sense of, like, resignation from Arsenal fans, like, we kind of expected this. When the 11 came out, the result we expected sort of happened. And we go into this weekend with hopefully a fresh team. Forget squad and everything, just a fresh starting 11 with, if you include the goalkeeper, you're talking, 4 of the back 5 is Arteta's players. The midfield 2 should be 2 Arteta signings. The midfield 3 should be Arteta signings. Yeah. And the front 3 should be all players have been handed new contracts under this manager, so it should feel fresh, it should feel new. And I, for that reason alone, I'm optimistic, I suppose.
It pains me, that first bit that you said pains me because I saw the fans clapping the players after Man City and your explanation of the feeling around being resignation. And that pains me because no other club in the Big Six and no other club that's won the Premier League trophy in the Big Six, and that obviously eliminates one team, in my opinion, has fans that would become resigned to the fact of where we are now. And I look at it like, well, if that is resignation and, it is essentially giving up, that's how I class resignation.
I don't want to speak for all Arsenal fans. Like, that's how it felt to me.
Was it a feeling of this is where we are now?
No. It wasn't like that.
Because I can never see Man United, Man City, Chelsea, or Liverpool fans clapping a 5-0 away loss to another team that's meant to be maybe not rivals, but in terms of being a big club supposed to be, but. We're not. That's the facts. But we are in the bracket of Big Six.
It's a great question. Yeah. I want to know. It's interesting to think why they were clapping. Were they clapping saying we're supporting you still, regardless of whatever happens?
As I said, I don't want to speak for all Arsenal fans. There were thousands there, and
you got the feeling of there,
right. They might sit here and tell you, no, I clap because I love my football club and I support them through thick and thin. And if that's true, great.
That's why Ty does that. He does that all the time.
Ty's a good example of that. It felt to me, it's just my opinion, that there was a sense of looking at players, I don't want to say names, but players who, as I said, have been here 4 or 5 years, who've continued to disappoint really at the highest level, and they were being chucked out there, and you know what? They didn't need to be, because Mario was on the bench, Tavares was on the bench, Lokonga was on the bench, players that this manager has signed, and we were sitting there sort of going, well, course you put up this performance because I'm not used to seeing any better from you, so I kind of can't keep blaming you. And that's how I felt about Xhaka's red card. When I saw it, I could have gone off on one, but he's got form for this, so I can't keep looking at him.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think it felt a bit like that to me. It felt like a sense of you guys aren't good enough to do any better than that in Man City, or maybe you are, but not much better than that. And
That's the truth. I know you're being.
Is there much evidence that I'm being?
you're right.
No, you're
yes,
being right.
There've been FA Cup moments. There've been FA Cup moments. There have been moments where they pulled out the bag, but the general form has been: we go away, we get spanked with a select group of players in the team, and it felt to me like it was like, how can I keep expecting more? How can I keep blaming you guys? It's not your fault necessarily.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know, I feel bad saying that because that's
No.
very cutting, but it felt that way to me.
I always use this example, and we're going to get back on the Norwich after this little bit, but I used the example of Walcott, who was a player I was very critical of. Obviously, he took the number 14 jersey. There was high hopes in him from young. You know, he went to that tournament under Sven, and, you know, it didn't work out, but there was still Theo Walcott, next number 14, pace, you know, frightening. It never worked out, and I was critical of him. Obviously, there was I wasn't part of AFTV. I didn't have my own channel. It was just amongst friends and associates and whatnot. And then one day I said to myself, the reality is Walcott doesn't, you know, come into the dressing room and say, I'm starting today.
Yeah, no way.
Or I'm staying here for another 4 years. The club make these decisions, the people in charge make these decisions, and there has to come a time when even current players now with Granit Xhaka, do I blame Granit Xhaka for his new contract? No. Did I blame Mesut Ozil for his new contract? No. The club are making poor decisions that, you know, lead me down that, you know, mind frame where I'm thinking it's not actually their fault anymore.
Yeah.
So I do understand that, but at the same time, I feel like it borders on acceptance. And I feel like if the Kroenkes see it and the people, you know, above at Arsenal see it, I think they would much prefer that reaction than a reaction of all away fans are gone before 90th minute, or the fans are, you know, letting their feelings known even when the players are coming forward. But you know what? That's you know, another debate for another day.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
it's
Fair play
an
to the
interesting
players
one.
for a lot of them for fronting it up.
And I've been many away games where players go straight down the tunnel.
Rob Holding on many. They were there a long time, and I'll give them that. I actually genuinely appreciated that, and I want them to prove me wrong. By the way.
Who doesn't? We all do.
We're all here.
Starting with Norwich this Saturday. But it'll be a very different team.
For
So you mentioned it, the players that we have back, and and we've all done starting 11s. We'll get into soon. It looks very different.
It does look different, Turkish. And me and Robbie did a show on the Daily News show, and we spoke about our strongest 11. We had the exact same strongest 11. The team that we mentioned should be the team. Well, no, Arteta probably won't, but it should be the team that we both mentioned. It's the strongest 11. It's the team that everyone's excited to see. They were doing training photos and saying, look at these two in training, paired, the perfect partnership that we want to see, Ben White and Gabriel. So, like you said, this should be the time we see it. Will we? I don't know.
But that's exactly why we've just been spending, 5 minutes talking about that situation at Man City. We're not just doing it to beat on the players. We're actually all looking forward to this game against Norwich, and we're all quite hopeful. And when you hear our predictions, you'll know why. But the reason we mention it is because this week, forget the opposition, should feel so different. It should feel fresh. It should feel new. It should feel exciting. It should feel like, for everything that's gone on, it should really start coming together now. So I think that's why we mention it. As I said, not to beat on the players, but just to give context as to why this Saturday is so important.
It's the start of the season.
Yeah, no, the smile's back on his face. That's it.
Listen, I'm not saying this, but some would say this could be the start of Arteta having everything he wanted in place, and us seeing whether it's going to come together. Now, I've lost hope personally. But
the club still hope, and if the club hope in something,
you know, you acting like it's the first time I've said it. He loves to stir things, doesn't he? I've been saying this for weeks. Oh, really? Go into that more, James.
So they'll have people in the live chat saying this James is deluded. Cecil was saying that he still wants Arteta in.
Exactly. Yeah.
But obviously we play Norwich, and before we get into lineups and Arsenal, you know, let's talk about Norwich a bit. What do we know about them, James?
Look, I haven't watched all of Norwich's games. I've seen the highlights, I've looked at the stats, I've kind of watched them last couple of years, Championship, Premier League, whatever. What I'll say about them is the goals they've conceded, which was 3 at home to Liverpool, 5 at the Etihad, and two against Leicester as well. Defensively, they're a shambles. Now, people are going to say, well, what about Arsenal? No, we know about Arsenal.
Yeah.
Okay, we know. But let's just talk about Norwich for a sec. Defensively, the goals they conceded were absolutely shambolic. Like, defence isn't in line, you know, players being pulled apart. I think what I like about Daniel Farke is he believes in a very progressive style of football. He plays a 4-3-3. He played that against all three teams.
Yeah.
He's had a hard start to the season. Let's give him that.
Definitely.
Liverpool, Leicester City, and now you come to the Emirates. And listen, no matter what form, really, you don't really want to come to the Emirates. That's a really difficult start. They've played the 4-3-3. They're expansive. They're 14 shots against Leicester, 14 against Liverpool. So they do create chances. They do have a go.
Yeah.
The problem is, I think at the back, it's just such a mess that, you know what, if you almost do the basics, you're going to pick them off and win the game. So it's the one thing I'd say. But if Arsenal don't get into a rhythm or a flow, they can cause us problems. So
and on Box to Box, I spoke with Chris Reeve. If you haven't checked that out already, make sure you check out Box to Box from Talk Norwich City YouTube channel. And he was saying that a few of the signings they made on the back end of the transfer window was to aid defensively, defensive reinforcements. And he was very optimistic about this game, saying that if the defensive reinforcements come in and do what Daniel Farke believes they can do, wants them to do, he thinks that, you know, he's more optimistic about this season coming than potentially a couple seasons ago when Norwich were pretty much not all out attack, but with Pukki, Cantwell, Buendia.
Is he optimistic about this game?
Optimistic.
How mad
with
is
his
that?
head, he says Arsenal win, but his heart and Arsenal's form.
I think they'll cause us problems. But what Arsenal kind of need to do is weather that, take their chances, and I think the floodgates will open.
Yeah, agreed.
That's what I think could happen. But
do you have a danger man?
I have a danger man at key battles as well. I've looked at Pukki. We spoke about him quickly. He got 26 goals last season in the Championship. 26 goals. He got 4 assists.
He started the season. He was here a couple of seasons ago very well.
Yeah.
He petered out, but
he's a good. He's a good striker. He's someone we should be fearful of. He's got 1 goal this season. Yes, it was a penalty against Leicester, but it's one more than what we have. I mean, against City we had 1 shot.
Against Leicester they had a performance though. Where I'd say that they
were in the game.
They could say they deserve something out of the game,
agreed.
whereas we haven't had that in the first 3 games.
Yeah, they did.
That's very true.
You're right.
You're very, very right. So
Pukki. And with Pukki's chances, I think Buendia leaving has a massive effect on
Big time.
Their chance creation this season.
Even they have been, like James said, they have been creating chances. They have created some already. You're right. I think Buendia losing him has been a big key factor to that. But that's someone we've got to look out for. Him against, we're hoping and praying, Ben White and Gabriel. So that's the key battle there.
Has to be. After the Wenger back 3 we saw against Man City. Come on, Mikel, please, man.
Yeah, man.
Please, man. So yeah, that's kind of the key battles we're looking at. I have to give a mention to Max Aarons as well, because obviously we wanted him. I'm sure we wouldn't have been angry if he signed at Arsenal, but he does really well for Norwich. A lot of the play goes down that side, and he starts off most of the attack. So it'd be interesting to see against Arsenal. But yeah, Pukki's a danger man. I think we've got to be very fearful of. I like Todd Cantwell as well, but I'm not going to go through the whole team. Yeah. We'll stick with Pukki.
I believe Cantwell's an Arsenal fan as well. But
he is.
I think he is. Yeah.
You know, so when I look at Pukki, I think to myself, he picked up last season in the Championship off the back of a bad end to that Premier League season. And quite often strikers and players don't do that. They tend to peter out, and it's good to see him back, I guess.
Norwich have good bounce back as a club.
A lot
of clubs go down and they fall away, but they go again.
Yeah.
And they stuck by Farke and you got them back up. Like, there's a lot to admire about them.
And they were quite strong in the transfer market as well with Buendia not the summer just gone, but the summer before. He could have easily
They always pick up little gems here and there,
Do you think they'll survive comfortably this season, or do you think it'll be quite...
No, I think they'll go down again, but they'll play good football and they'll be good to watch.
Fair. Yeah.
Sorry, Norwich fans.
What about Arteta? What's he been saying? Anyone caught up with the boss?
Yeah, we'll do, or we have done a show, depending on when you're watching this, on AFTV. The first thing, we're going to go into team news, the kind of the thing that he spoke about that I think not a lot of us really knew. I mean, we knew Smith Rowe missed the under-21 game through illness. Yeah. Confirmed that he's still feeling unwell. But the big topic was really around, this is a fresh start, we've got our players now, and almost...
Off the back of Edu's kind of...
We talked about in Forever Arsenal saying, did what Edu say put Arteta under pressure? But he's kind of followed on from what Edu said. He even actually said, following on from what Edu said, explained it.
How did he seem, Jay? Did he seem confident in, when Arteta was speaking? Did he seem like, do you know what, I'm now taking
I don't know if he ever seems massively confident. I think he always says things.
No, I think at the
like
beginning.
well and eloquently and whatever. I think the tone I got was kind of, you know, just stick with us for this, please. Like, this is where we can start. Like we feel. He kept saying, the fans are disappointed, but we feel it too. He kept kind of saying that, like, you're not suffering alone. Like, we're trying to fix it. We want. You know, I get it. I wouldn't say it felt like a plea, but I think there was a degree of like, this can genuinely be a fresh start, and he's just trying to remind us of that, as Edu did, and look, we'll see on Saturday if it is.
Yeah, I think that they know as well how frustrated we are, but we need to remember as well that they're very aware where they're sitting bottom of the league. Like Arsenal currently sitting bottom of the league, and there's been no goals. Like the players, they all know at a club you're not oblivious to. You don't just lose a game, go home, and just switch off and forget about everything. That's not what's going on, especially at this club as well. So I think you're right, and probably what you're saying is probably asking for a bit of a plea, just to say, just hold with me for a little longer. As I know there's many fans out there that are done.
Again, I need them. This ownership thing comes again. Like, I was I guess it was. I was an Arsenal fan before Edu was a player at this club. You know, I was an Arsenal fan well before Arteta even thought he could come to this football club, before he was even a footballer. So for them to say, you know, we feel it as much, they don't. You know, and my thing is, why has nobody, not Arteta, not Wenger, not Gazidis, not Raul, not Edu, not Kroenke, not Josh, not any, why has nobody said, we've let you guys down over the last 10 years? Why has nobody said that we've made all these mistakes? Like, why has this whole thing been cleaned?
They'll never admit to 10 years.
No, but it's not about admitting. There's nothing to admit to. We know. I'm not asking you to admit. We know.
No, if they say it, that's them admitting it, though, isn't it?
No,
if they said sorry
no,
for
but
the
I don't think none of us need to know it's them.
I can actually answer that for you, because Stan and Josh Kroenke don't watch the football club enough and don't care enough ultimately to, you know, they'll say, well, we employ the people, they've done it. The people involved will say, well, Edu and Arteta will say, you know, we've been cleaning up the mess from the problem before.
We weren't there from that.
Wenger? You know, so surely it come to a point where these lot had to make a choice. If you love the club, either I love the club and I'm a bit more open with the fans, open enough that I'm not pissing Kroenke off, but admitting that things have gone wrong before me and during my time, whether that's Arteta, Edu, or Wenger, or Gazidis, whoever it was. I don't feel like that's, you know, like asking for too much. I agree with you, Kroenke and Josh. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And also, no one. Arteta doesn't want to say Arsenal are 8th because of me and what I've done, and Edu doesn't want to say it because.
But you can say we are 8th because of a decline that started a long time before I was here, and then I'd be like, well done. A decline that started a long time ago before you was here. 3 facts. Build on that a bit more so we can start, you know, connecting.
That does then push the blame to the people above him, that is technically his bosses. And you already know.
When you say before me, it could be Wenger talking about it, could be Gazidis talking about it. It could be Lord Harris of Peckham or Sir Chips Keswick.
Well, look, the press conference was.
It is what it is. Sorry, I'm burning off on a tangent.
No, but I'm just saying it was as you'd expect it was.
You know me, man. If I find the route to Kroenke, I'll find it.
Yeah, but all that stuff you're saying, like, I know exactly what you mean. And maybe this was the kind of press conference to maybe address that.
It hurts, it does. And that's why it keeps on coming to my mind. But go on, Cecil.
Yeah, team news. No, I was just talking about team news and who's available. So, El Nenny's out. He's out for 3 weeks due to a hamstring strain. That's it. That's the only player really out. Obviously, Smith Rowe illness. Obviously, he didn't play in the internationals under 21s, which James just spoke about earlier. He's in my 11 though, if I'm honest. Okay. So I hope he feels better.
Suspension, to be fair. So.
Yeah, and Xhaka, COVID and suspension. So Xhaka's out, but mainly El Nenny.
I wish him all the best. I hope he's recovering and he's okay. But
100%.
Yeah, but, 3 games out. It'll be interesting to see who he plays now that El Nenny's.
Well, there's only.
You better only play one partnership. But I was about to say, we'll probably see Maitland-Niles slot in there next to Partey or something.
He said in the press conference, he's asked about Maitland-Niles. He said, I'm glad we wanted him to stay and I'm glad he's here.
But then he exiled him down to youth training after post and he'd been treating him. Do you know what?
It is what it is. Let's do some lineups. Have we all got lineups ready?
I do.
Yeah? Who wants to kick off?
Mine's contingent on Smith Rowe being
Okay, I'll just do mine because I think the people that follow the channel regularly will know mine. It's like I said, it's the same 11 when I did the strongest 11. Leno in goal, right back. Tomiyasu, I said it's the strongest 11. We haven't seen him play yet. I said this in the show. I don't really know what he's going to be like, but for now, Tomiyasu is going to go in now.
If you want to know, go watch my video on who is Takahiro Tomiyasu on AFTV.
There you go.
Which Cecil obviously watched.
We need a hero. I did watch it.
Oh, thank you.
We need a hero. And then in the centre-back pairing, Ben White and Gabriel. Come on. It's about time. I've got Kieran Tierney on the left back, playing left back, 2 in centre defensive mid, Lokonga and Partey. That's what we're left with, and that's what everyone's been waiting to see. Said it, keep saying it.
That's what we want.
Yes, we all want. Whether it happen, I don't know. In the 10, Odegaard. On the left, Smith Rowe, if he's obviously available. If not, Pepe will slot in there, but Smith Rowe for me. And then on the right, Saka with up top, Aubameyang. For me, that seems standard. I feel like that's the team you should go with. I mean, it's the teams that definitely get a win. It's a strong side. If we lose with that team, boy, yeah, that's mine.
Okay, so I'm going for Ramsdale in goal. I'm going for Tomiyasu, White, Gabriel, and Tierney.
Why are you guys sorry? Why Ramsdale instead of Leno? Just quickly.
I think that Leonard's made a decent start to the season, but we've signed this guy to be our number 1 for the long term. If Norwich at home isn't the game to give him those Premier League minutes to see if he can make an impact now, then when it is.
Because people can talk about cups all we like, but if you get to both finals in the cup, what's that, about 13 games?
Yeah.
You didn't just sign the most expensive keeper in history to play 13 games.
Right, exactly. There's no Europa League qualifiers or group stage. So he comes in. And listen, I know it was a 6-0 win over West Brom's B team basically, but there were some nice things in terms of his distribution and things that I thought that looks nice. And actually, with the players that will supposedly fit that system, why not? Let's get them in. Let's get them all used to each other, essentially.
Yeah.
Partey, Lokonga. Then I'm going for Saka, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, with Aubameyang up front. So it's the same team as yours with Ramsdale in goal.
Okay.
The only change though, if Smith Rowe's not available, I play Pepe on the left, and then I'm actually going to take Aubameyang out and put Lacazette up front. Without getting too boring and tactical about it, I've always felt Arsenal, when they kind of got 2 more direct wingers who are getting beyond the Saka and Pepe, they've suited having a Lacazette who drops into midfield more.
You're
Whereas
right.
if you've got Aubameyang, I feel you've got too many players just trying to break the lines, and Odegaard's left to do it all. And Lokonga and Partey aren't the most naturally creative. They can play, but so if Smith Rowe's in there, I don't mind Aubameyang playing on the shoulder, trying to get him beyond. Smith Rowe comes inside, that's fine. But I think it's more nicely complemented if Lacazette's the striker and Pepe's on the left.
You're trying to think of the formula, let's say.
No,
yeah, I think so.
You broke it down a lot last season with that the creators and the runners, and I was going to explain, because I was going to talk about. I'll probably speak to you after the show about that choice, because I would have said if Odegaard's in there, we normally play Aubameyang, but if Smith Rowe goes in there, you normally play Lacazette.
Yeah, Saka can be someone who plays as kind of a 10 who comes inside. Yeah, he could do that too. True. But I'm just that's what I do.
Might as well get into mine now. Same back 5 as you, Ramsdale in goal. Similar reasons to James as well. I think if you've bought him at his price, if he is the long-term number 1, why not start him there now?
Yeah.
And potentially push Leno into a decision in January or a decision end of the season. Back 4, Tomiyasu, White, Gabriel, Tierney. I'd go with Partey and Lokonga as well. I did think about Odegaard next to Partey, especially considering Norwich, and there should be space. But I just thought,
that would have been fun.
This is the. It's been fun in the past, isn't it? This is the chance to play Lokonga and Partey. Even though I've got my doubts on them being able to work together, it'd be interesting to see if Partey could be that role model type of figure to Lokonga. I feel like Partey's got that reputation in football to be a role model. We have very few players that are role models. I think Tierney's one and Partey's another. I think it's a stretch to think of another role model that is for the youngsters.
Yeah, in the
Saka's a role model for other youngsters coming through, but he's not a role model for a Partey who's and so on. So I think Partey, Lokonga, and I change up for the 4. Even though you made some good points, I'm going to stick to mine. I'm putting Saka on the left because of the Max Aarons threat.
Okay.
At first I put Emil Smith Rowe on the left, but I thought him cutting in a bit too much could expose Tierney on that side, and Aaron's attacking quality. We need someone there, and I think Tierney and Saka on that side is a very strong left-hand side. I'd put Pepe on the other. That gives you the option to chop and change. Reason being, I want to go and attack Norwich. You know, I want to go and attack them. I'm more looking for a performance and goals than I am a clean sheet.
Right.
That's how I look at this game against Norwich.
Yeah, okay, that.
And I put Odegaard in the middle of them, dictate tempo, find the passes, you know, and Ober up top. Now, when you mentioned the worry about all three, you know, potentially crossing the lines and leaving Odegaard alone, I hope that Lokonga maybe comes in or Partey comes in. One or the other is that aid to Odegaard.
Yeah.
And I see that midfield three of Partey, Lokonga, Odegaard as quite intriguing. Dare I say exciting?
Yeah.
Dare I say it?
Dare you say it?
Who sits for you when it comes to
If it's my choice,
Lokonga,
it's Partey because of his experience.
Okay.
And because for me, if he allows Lokonga to go ahead of him, he reads what Lokonga's doing as well.
Right.
Whereas if he goes ahead of Lokonga, he could leave Lokonga in a situation you don't want to leave him in.
No,
so I want him to observe more than I do. Ideally, you have a centre-back that's experienced, that monitors that. And that's why I rate people like Adams and Sol Campbell so much, because they was leaders from the back. They observe everything.
That's very true.
Whereas right now, our leader across the back line, centrally, is Partey.
Yeah.
So I'd stick with him, protecting Lokonga.
All right. Well, there we go. Predictions quickly, guys.
3-1 Arsenal.
He said 3-1.
3-1.
I said 4-0 on the Forever Arsenal podcast because I'm an idiot.
Nah, listen, it could be. It could be. It's one of those. Listen, I said against West Brom we're going to win it, and I was confident about that. Even though some people are like, "Oh, listen."
Yeah.
Regardless of B team or first team, we would have beaten West Brom. Norwich, I feel like we'll beat them. I just feel like
so do I. This is the worst thing.
For everything,
it's our famous last words.
For everything everyone said about Arsenal over the last 2 years, even last season, as bad as it was, there were some good performances and there were some good moments. And if you have that with a fresh team, Norwich, who I say are a shambles at the back. I wouldn't be surprised if we lose 2-1. I wouldn't be surprised if we won 5-0. Like, that's kind of where Arsenal are. I think 4-0.
If we can't go into Norwich thinking we're going to win, predicting a win, then I might as well just pack it all up.
Yeah.
How's it going, people? I'm out.
Yeah.
No more
safe to Robbie.
AFTV.
Thank you, Robbie. Yeah.
It's
been a great
you know,
couple months.
the poor form we're in poor form, but we've got to get a win somewhere.
Yeah.
Go on.
If Arteta goes with our back lines, which he should do, they don't score. So I genuinely believe that they do not score for real. But knowing Arteta, he might not go with our back lines and he may not go with our midfield. So let me say, I expect us to score. Everyone's available. I'm going to say 4-2. I don't know why. It's just a number in my head. 4-2. Why not?
What game?
We're going to win. I want to see.
Right.
We want to see a nice game. We want to see a good game.
Listen, I'll take it.
I'll definitely take it right now where we're at. A few goals and a few
goals.
points.
I wanted to say 4-0, but I don't know if he's going to go with those back five. I really don't. Whether it's Ramsdale or Lennon goal, I don't know if he's going to go with.
That's why I put the 1 in, 3-1. I think it could be 3-0 or 4-0, but I'm putting the 1 as damage limitation. Might as well.
This is where we're at, bro.
Tactical Insight's going to be fun on Monday.
Yeah, I'm
breaking down
Graham's
Arsenal's 3-0 defeat to Norwich.
You and Graham are going to enjoy.
No, I can't keep saying this. If we lose,
No, listen, we'll tackle that if it comes.
All right, come on.
If it comes.
Let's be positive. We're going to win.
We're going to win.
Listen, Turkey have already done me over this international break. Let's hope this is a fresh start because I've had enough this year. 8th in the league last season, last in the Euros. We started this season 3 games, 3 L's. Last week, Ronaldo breaks the record against Ireland. The other day, Holland 6, Turkey 1. If we don't beat Norwich, I might actually pack it all in. I might just say, you know what, that's it.
International tournament.
We're last, though. We are last.
Yeah, in Euros.
North Macedonia was -1 plus than us. That's why we are last.
And Arsenal bottom, currently sitting at the bottom of the Premier League. That is, you've had it
I've
hard.
had it hard. And then Ronaldo broke the record against Ireland as well, just to put Ireland in the mud as well quickly. Just said, yeah, there you go, Turkish. Enjoy 2021.
Listen, Jamaica drew, yes, I think last night as well. They
lost
just
to Panama as well.
Lost to Panama 3-0. Bro, I'm in the mud with you, bro. I'm feeling it. I'm just trying to act like.
And these Italians are playing their youngsters and winning 4-5-0.
It's jarring, isn't it?
It's a good life over there.
Yeah, it's good life over
Bring
there.
Mancini to the Emirates.
I wouldn't mind.
I
Antonio
wouldn't
Conte
mind
would be the,
Yeah.
you know. But people, let us know in the comment section below your predictions, your thoughts, your lineups, what you guys thought of the show, all of that, people. And any suggestions for any more content or what you'd want to see implemented into the shows. We're all for suggestions, so make sure you leave that in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe. Love for the love, people. We're out.